Hello everybody, and welcome to the Warframe Iron Man. Last week we were stuck on the moon, but this time we're going to be doing something far more important than getting goddamn astral twilight. We're moving into arbitration. Oh. Well, thank God I have a lot to talk about, because I don't want to do an interception right about now. So arbitrations are going to be a challenge. As you can see, it's level 60 through 80. It rotates through all the endless mission types, and they're just pretty much harder challenge missions. Notably, the reason they're quote-unquote hard, other than the enemy level, is because they have arbitration drones. And these little shits, they don't take any ability damage. And that's really important, actually. Because they don't take ability damage, they are unaffected by all abilities in the game, and they link to enemies, and I believe they make them also unaffected by abilities. And they're shit. But they drop Vitus Essence, and that shit is our lifeblood. And let's go show off why. So in order to go look at the arbitration stuff, we're gonna go meet our ops. They don't like us because we're with Red Veil, and they can cry about it. But we're not talking to them. We're talking to their lackey over here. I said we're gonna be making massive gains to our power, and I was not lying. I just want to show off one mod in particular, which is right here on the screen already. Rolling Guard. This is going to replace Rapid Resilience on all of our builds. We run Rapid Resilience because status effects nuke us. We downright die instantly when we get hit with a nasty one. And this is going to make us able to just shed them on command. Oh! It also gives us 3 seconds of invulnerability, which is nuts. Really good. But we're not just glazing one mod, though. These motherfuckers have the whole stock of every good mod ever. Let's scroll down a little bit. Nothing too crazy here. We don't really care about these. Some stuff. Grendel pieces? Oh, that's gonna be a fun one. Yeah, we'll be getting Grendel, alright. We want that nourish. Fellas, this is the bread and butter of Warframe. These are, dare I say, the best mods in the game. We have access to them now.
Before one of the updates, where they changed the junction rewards, we would have had to unlock Steel Path in order to get these, but now we only get it from the Pluto to Eris junction, which is a huge dub in our end, because unlocking Steel Path and also arbitrations at the same time is kind of a big, weird thing that I'm glad they got rid of, because arbitrations are way easier than Steel Path, and in order to do Steel Path, you have to do arbitrations, but you had got them at the same time. It was really stupid, but I'm getting off track. Galvanized mods. What are galvanized mods? Now, you can see a bunch of these. They look like normal mods that we already have. Galvanized Chamber? Well, that looks like whatever the primary mod is that gives multi-shot. And you're right. Now, it gives slightly less multi-shot, but it has a passive. On kill, more multi-shot. It stacks up to 5 times. These are so big. And today, we're going to keep it pretty organized of what we're going to try to get today. Yes, the primary mods are probably the most important, but I'm a Glaive Prime enjoyer, and I want to enjoy Glaive Prime before we get melee influence, and then throw that shit in the dumpster. So, we're going to worry about the melee mods. These are the newest one, technically. They came out with the Kome update. We're just going to look at all of them, and then we'll look at everything else that's good here too, but we're going to look at these galvanized mods in particular. Galvanized Steel is the crit chance mod, but it also gives us crit damage on melee kills. Galvanized Reflex. This is the heavy attack efficiency mod that you've never used in your life. But on this one, when you get melee kills, it gives you initial combo. Stacks up to 4 times, bringing you to 80 initial combo with nothing else. And Galvanized Elementalist. Now this is strange. We don't have an Elementalist mod. In order to get Elementalist mods, we have to do Jade Shadows. So we get one pretty early. And this one's way fucking better than Elementalist, whatever, Melee Elementalist. Specifically, because this one is used on every other melee weapon other than glaives. I know, it sounds pretty weird because we want it for a glaive, but this is better for non-glaives, and the reason why is because this gives you status damage. That affects stuff like toxin, electricity, you can see where I'm going with that one, slash, and then on melee kills we get status chance, stacks up to 4 times. The normal version of Melee Elementalist, it gives you heavy attack wind-up speed, and a little bit more status damage, which is way more important on glaives. But we don't have access to that, so this will have to do.
which is funny because this is the Galvanized version, and they're usually better. Anyway, other good mods, we got Adaptation. This just gives you damage resistance for damage types that you're taking. Stacks up to 90%. Really good. Aerodynamic. This is good on like Hildren and Jade and nobody else. Just gives you a little bit of extra reduced damage. You can stack it with the Exilus one, the brown that I don't remember. You know what? I think that's about it. Combat discipline had its time, but its time is gone now. Sorry, Mesa. I'm just gonna fucking run pistol amp or some shit. Anyway, there's so much peak here. It's so goddamn beautiful. You get the best helmet in the game, best mods in the game, arcanes that I really don't care about. But I guess I should hover over them all so you can take a look here. Bask in glory. Anyway, in case you're wondering, the wiki, which I'll pull up for you guys, the wiki says that we need to get 905 Vitus Essence in order to get all store exclusive items, and I'm pretty sure that just means like, anything that we could get elsewhere is out of the pool. But I don't know how much we need for specifically the mods. If we wanted to do all the arcanes, it's another 1,050, No, we don't care about that. Let's hop into some, baby. I'm so excited. You have no idea. The power increase from these is just going to be so crazy. We're finally going to feel like we did the second dream. It's going to be nuts. How perfect is that? You can't make it up. Our Necros is buffed too. Oh. Now, this is a defense. And you'll see why that's kind of weird in a second. But for now, and it's on Europa. Huh. You know what I'll be saying about Europa? And if there is one thing I love about Europa, it is being able to leave. Alright, enough stalling. Let's get, is it on the one? It's on the one node I don't have. Oh my god, I'll be right back. Okay, we're gonna pretend like I didn't just embarrass myself by not having Europa done. Sorry, I love this planet so much. Let's get into it. It's time. While we get into this and we get going, I do want to give a little bit of a description of what we're doing here. Now, arbitrations, unlike regular missions, we cannot respawn. If we die, it's over. No biggie. I don't plan on dying. If that happens, no biggie. As long as we complete one rotation, which is 3 waves, we are going to be done. Everything will be cool. Even if we die, we'll get our rewards still. Also, the rules work a little bit differently. Now, normally, on a defense, we'd roll up and we'd be defending a stationary object. But this time, no sir. We're defending a whole ass guy. This is just an Arbiter of Hexus guy. He just got his little Jolly Jerker pistols, and he's going to do his best to not die. And it's up to us to make sure he doesn't, for as long as we can, till we give up. Now, it is 2 in the morning, I ain't gonna lie to you folks. I'm not trying to be here for 6 gajillion hours, but I do want to get enough to get at least Rolling Guard, because Rapid Resilience pisses me off. And the last thing I'm gonna say before we get into this, is that the rotations work a little bit differently. Now, every Endless mission type rolls off of a ABC loot table, but more specifically on how this one works, is that, according to the wiki again, it is an AA, BB, CCCCCCC. So the first 2 rotations are going to be A, that's up to wave 6. The next 6 waves is going to be rotation B, and then anything after 12 waves is going to be straight C's. And we'll see how that feels. But I'm going to stop yapping. It's time. We got to get going. And at some point, I'm going to have to feed my cat. I should have done that before I started, but it is what it is. Now, he's got a good chunk of health, and that's pretty cool. There's an arbitration drone. We already got a Vitus Essence. Oh, it's just so peak. The downtime in between waves is also shortened. Like, that was really fast. But it helps keep a nice high-speed kind of feel to this, which is really nice. Especially because we're hauling ass trying to get this. Yeah, otherwise, other than the fact that we have the guy and the drones, this is totally just a normal-ass defense mission. And that's a Venomous Xmas. We gotta be careful. So, I don't have, like, anything amazing to really show off. We're just gonna go, and then at the end, I'll probably show the rewards. There used to be rewards that we could only get from the loot table. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think you can purchase all of the rewards with Vitus Essence now, which is cool. We got our first reward, though. That was hella fast. 900 endo. Oh my goodness, that's huge. Yeah, it was 4 minutes. 4 minutes for 3 waves. Not bad. And most of that time was spent absolutely flapping my jaw around. So, the main thing we're worried about here, though, is that other than the drones completely cock-blocking us from killing things, we need to be on the lookout for... Damn, everything's loud. We need to be on the lookout for Venomous Eximus. They are going to be absolutely terrifying as we get further into these. We're already at level 70 enemies. Luckily, we're dealing with Infested. Infested are poo-poo easy, but at the same time, they are the faction that has the Venomous Eximuses, and once we get going, even though we have a buffed 870 HP with no HP mod, they're gonna one-shot us, and that's not gas. Also, this dude is hell-bent on being the hero and staying by himself, so we gotta babysit him a bit more. It's a bit harder for us on Necros because we don't have anything to really cover him. We're kind of just doing our thing. And you know what? After this one, I think we call in some Warframe reinforcement. Yeah, it's been a minute since we've gotten a new Warframe. Last one was Dagath, and well, Dagath doesn't really impress me. She's catching flack. I don't think she's a bad Warframe or anything. I just we got limited slots gamers, and we could do better, you know? I think... No, we have 5 Warframes right now. What the fuck am I talking about? About to throw her away for nothing. Yeah, we tossed Valkyr Prime for this. After this mission, we'll choose the new one. Oh, an Iotun sculpture. Huge. Oh, so good. Except, I'm gonna pause real quick. Cat is fed and happy. We're able to game. Alright, now, other than the first 5 seconds dropping a Vitus Essence, this is actually going pretty bad. Remember, it's 20 for one of the mods, so we need them to start raining from the heavens, like, right now. I'm gonna turn down the application audio a bit. This is where I fuck the audio settings even hard, and it's another 10 episodes of me being a goddamn boomer. Now, this is also a great source of Moderai XP, which would be cool if we needed that, but we really don't. Until you complete the War Within, you're only locked to the first node on each of the focus schools, and I haven't really started any of the other ones. I've just had the opportunity to do, like, get big gains on Moderai, but in case you're curious, I have 500,000 focus just stockpiled and ready to go. Back when I got focus for the first time when Second Dream dropped, that shit was, whew, it was stingy. Now it's like, every time you do that little pickup thing, 5,000 for free, plus whatever you're about to earn. And the lenses are so easy to get. Oh, speaking of the devil. Whoa. Also, I should have, like, put Roar on Necros before I did this. I didn't even think of that. Motherfucker was really out here with Soul Punch on. What am I doing? Dude, where's the fuck's the Vitus Essence? There is a 7% chance we get a bundle of 3, and Endo be damned. I'm kind of holding out for that. Oh, no way. Hey, remember when I said we'll just worry about getting those other stance mods last time? Yeah, that's exactly why. Bro, we just pulled that out of our ass. We could have been on the moon trying to get that right now. Yeah, because we don't have Roar on, our damage is about to fall off insanely hard. Might be doomed? We're also about to earn our last Rotation B reward, and then we'll be moving into the big leagues of Rotation C's. Bam. I mean, dude, thanks for the endo, but Christ, man. I'm after one thing here. Now, it is a good thing that they're handing out these endo, because you saw the sheer amount of rank 10 mods that were in there. You know, credits be damned. we can make do with that. But the endo costs, fellas, it's gonna be pretty fucking grim around here. That's gonna do us a lot of good, having all that endo. Besides, we know if we always need credits, our boy Nathaniel's got our back. Rupert Fortnite! Oh, another, yes! I will say, guys, we may have blundered a little bit. Because I'm a melee specialist, I should have put on pack leader so that Rupert Fortnite didn't shit his pants every 2 seconds and explode. But I did come into this unprepared for a really good grinding session. And I'll admit, I'm washed, alright? I haven't done an arbitration in many moons. I'm kind of debating, I think instead of... Oh, it feels so fucking cringe to say, because if I had to recommend one, I'd probably just say get Rolling Guard. Because death is cringe, and we don't like dying. But you folks at home, I expect your ass to be already done with the War Within by now. You know, I'm a special kind of freak in this account. We're doing shit that nobody's even thought of doing. Eventually, for the most part, you know, we're doing the grinds that nobody want to do. In a time where nobody wants to do them. And so our essential pickups are a bit different, but for y'all, it'd be Rolling Guard. For me, I'm thinking honestly we get Galvanized Reflex, so that our glaive is always critting. Because the initial combo will give us higher crit chance or crit damage, whatever the fuck. It just works, dude. It'll just work. Please. Triple drop. Oh my god, dude. This is gonna be the first time in human history that you're gonna hear somebody complain about getting endo. I will say, one addition to our glaive build that I didn't show off too is I slapped on the heat 6060 because I figured it'd probably be the best, since if we need electricity, it's on our Zorus. We'll use that, and this thing would be good on Deimos, which is going to be my Aya farm moving forward once we get all these mods. So, you know, I had a free slot and I just said, fuck it, we'll slap this on. And I think the stars quite literally aligned for us, because it is perfect that we have heat on this fighting infested enemies, because they are both weak to heat and slash. So this thing is doing as much damage as we can milk out of it, which we're going to need considering I came in ill prepared. I've said for the millionth time. Dude, in 20 minutes, we've earned the amount of endo you'd get from running, like, 2 exterminates in 1999. It's crazy how things equal out. But for us now, this 5,000 endo is like winning the lottery. In the next arbitration we do, we're definitely... I almost killed myself. Did you see that? Your boy just haphazardly jumped into a toxin pool. It could have been over. If he would have hit us with the venomous hoo-ha, it would have done 870 damage, which is a bit unrealistic. I would have died. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Dude, you can't make this shit up. I've only gotten 2 in this entire time. I think defenses are pretty bad, because they're not really spawning in the drones all that often. Or maybe it's because we're solo? I don't know. There is going to be a stat for arbitration drones killed at the end. So we'll get to see how many we could have gotten. I have 2100 shield. I know it feels like survival missions drop a hell of a lot more, or spawn a hell of a lot more, which in turn gets you a hell of a lot more. So maybe it's optimal to just look out for those. I don't know. I just dropped into the first one that wasn't going to make me rip my hair out, and interceptions definitely would have. We're also not getting shot at, which is very important. If we were getting shot at, this would be a lot more hellish. With this build that we're running on our Necros, we do get like 60% damage redirection with all of our clones alive, but because our luck is awesome and it happened to be the character that we were playing, or maybe it just cycles between the ones we have, I don't know. We get up to 90% damage reduction with Shield of Shadows, which, Vitus Essence, which could be a lot better if we had something like Adaptation. Although I don't think I'd want to put Adaptation in the build. I think on Necros, because he's John fucking Boring, and I can't really do anything else with him. I think what I have in store for him is slapping on Eclipse over the 1. Eclipse is twofold. It's a damage ability that used to be absolutely cracked before it got nerfed, and it is also damage reduction on command, and that's pretty sick. But we have to get Mirage, and in order to do that, we have to be on Sedna, so that'll be a bit of ways. But only through that amount of damage reduction, the point I'm trying to get at, would we be safe getting shot at. Infested enemies, we're just worried about getting actually one shot. Tried and true. We're not dying quite yet. Oh, wave 21. Lucky number 21. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. You know what that looks like? That looks like a my glaive is ready kind of aura. Even though... I do have on Brief Respite. Brief Respite is gas and awesome. But maybe on, like, our Volt, that'll be pretty gas. I'll try it. That was a V polarity. We'll put that on Volt once we get some glaive upgrades. We'll see how much he can juice that thing, because he is our weapons platform at this point in time. You know what? The damage is quite dookie at this point. So I think at wave 24, we're going to call it. I'll probably... The way I'll handle this, because, you know, I don't like to show off the tedium, the grinds. I just like to show the results for the most part. We'll do a survival arbitration, and I'll yap over that. I'll give you guys awesome gamer commentary. And then I'll probably just kick it to some tunes and get the rewards, and we'll come back when we get rewards. Sound like a plan? Yeah, it's the plan. What are we gonna get for 24? The same fucking thing. That's very helpful. Yeah, okay. I was really debating on doing one more set of 3. But for our rewards, 11 Vitus Essence. We get, I believe it was 1 per rotation, something like that. And 24 is 8. So yeah, 8 from that. So we're halfway to a mod already. But we also got 6,500 Endo, Cleaving Whirlwind, which is saved from doing Pavlov, and Swift Momentums. We also got to level up in the... Oh, no, we didn't. Okay. Also, look at that, guys. I actually am going to finish a battle pass on the Iron Man. This is huge. Did we have Cleaving Whirlwind? It didn't say it was new. Oh, dude, I already fucking... Oh, I made a big deal of that over nothing. Anyway, one thing before I wait on a survival to come around is if we come in here, we'll notice that we don't have access to the arbitration anymore. You only get to do the arbitration while it's up, one time. So for that one, that defense on Larzak, that was the only chance we had. Probably should have tried to go farther, but I don't know. It's all good. We're fine. And about that Warframe I said I wanted to craft, we need a really good defensive Warframe. And I have just the person for the job. He's cold, he's epic, and he's not Frost. I got you there. Fuck, I love Frost, but no, it is not him. It's gonna be Vauban. Vauban. I love Vauban. Vauban. One of my favorite frames in the game. We're gonna make him. Oh, I don't have a neural sensor. Yeah, the 6,000 years ago when I said that we were gonna craft them when we bought his components, I never did. Now's the time. Well, I would be, but I'm missing a neural sensor, so I gotta go get that. I gotta get a few of them for our daily Forma building, but we'll be back. All right, I did a couple more defenses in the time since the first one I showed. Kind of. We've gotten up to 34 Vitus Essence, which, oh, it's really setting in how shit this is gonna be after all this time. But, it's gonna get a little easier, because we're gonna get a mod right now. I thought about which mod we should pick up, and the first one I'm going to go ahead and get is going to be Galvanized Reflex. Now, it's a bit odd. The reason we're getting Galvanized Reflex is for the secondary effect, plus 20 initial combo for 20 seconds, stacks up to 4 times. That's going to replace Corrupted Charge on our Glaive Prime build. So we're going to get that. Like I've said previously, though, or in one of the last clips, Galvanized Elementalist and Galvanized Steel are must pickups, and they're all going on to our Glaive Prime and our Zorus as well. But specifically in this case, we're not going to be able to level up these mods to max. They're quite expensive. We'll show that off real quick. But keep in mind, those are the next 2 pickups we're going to get. Alright, we're in our mods section, and we can go ahead and upgrade Galvanized Reflex. Now, I will say something, and it's an idea I had going a while. For the most part, going forward, we're going to level base mods up before we move on to their upgraded forms. Now, specifically in this scenario, as the example, we're going to be looking at Galvanized Reflex. It is an upgraded version of Reflex Coil. Now, just to make this run a lot more arbitrary and tedious on myself, we're going to go ahead and level this up to max. And now, I would consider it qualified to move up to the upgrade. This is really dumb. At this point, you guys know I like to hold myself back as much as possible. I mean, we're 22 episodes in. Gonna be 23 at the time I'm recording this. And, yeah, we just gotta have more arbitrary rules. And this one, I'm going to add to the rules list. So, just to repeat myself, in order to use upgraded versions of mods, we have to have the base one. Now, there's gonna be some exceptions to this rule. The first one being Elementalist. Now, yes, technically, we should be required to get the normal Elementalist over the Galvanized version of it, because it isn't a direct upgrade. However, seeing as Galvanized Elementalist is available before normal Elementalist, we're gonna cheat. And this is gonna be one of the use cases where I'm gonna bypass that rule. And the only reason being is because I think that's fair, and also, in that one specific scenario, I believe that in our Glaive build, the normal Elementalist is going to be a bit better. So, stay tuned to see how I just completely ignore that rule as time goes on. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, enough yapping. We got to level this up. And I mean, look at that. At max rank, it's a million credits and 30,000 endo. That's buns. So we're only going to get it up to rank 8. 17 times 4, is that 68? Now, if we come down here to our Glaive Prime and we see Corrupt Charge here, boom, take that shit off. Boom, put Galvanized Reflex on. Huge! Huge, 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 huge. We could even, if we felt like it, put on Corrupted Charge as well, and bring that up to, what, 98 combo, but I feel like that's a bit overkill. I'm going to test this out first, and we'll come back and see how it handles business. We're in another arbitration defense because that's the only thing that ever shows up. It's funny. There was one survival since I've started doing these that I've seen. And it was in a tile that we didn't have, so I couldn't do it, which is buns, but here we are. I just wanted to show off, though, with our Glaive having Galvanized Reflex, I think I made an error and said that I'd guarantee that we hit crits. That's not true. What combo count does is the higher your combo multiplier, the bigger a damage bonus you get. But that damage bonus is huge. Look, 47 bleed proc on that Xmas unit. This dude is getting blapped, man. Maybe Necros wasn't the play. But, I mean, look at that. 144,000. We haven't even roared yet. That's what our Glaive was doing prior to Galvanized Reflex. And it's only gonna get better. Now, I'll be back when we're done with this. We are here on Wave 60 on another Deimos defense. I swear to God, every time I look at these arbitrations, there's just no survival. It's quite peculiar. And this one has been pretty chill. Galvanized Reflex was quite literally the difference between success and failure. And that's not entirely true. I put on Pack Leader. Rupert Fortnite's not dying every 2 seconds now. And I helmet roar on to Necros, which I don't know if I mentioned in the last clip where I had roar on Necros. You know, doing everything I said I should have done in order to do these. Yeah, went ahead and took care of that. But this has been really easy. As you can see, I'm kind of just hopping around. Actual objective takes a lot of damage, but the ancient healers that we keep resurrecting, because there's 30 gajillion of them, keep healing the target, so we're absolutely fine. But yeah, we're done. And what I wanted to highlight is that we got an Omni-Forma blueprint. And we'll take a look at it. Oh, 33 essence. Oh, so good. Also, yes, as you can see down there, that is 200,000 Vazarin and 1.2 million Madurai. I told you guys. Once we started actually going for it, it's not going to be that big of a problem. Even though we can't spend all that. I am going to unlock Vazarin right now. Vazarin is swag to have. Because, once we do this, the War Within, wonder when that's gonna be. We get access to not the Void Regen, but Protective Sling over here, where we get immunity. But now we could use that if we wanted to. And then Madurai, yeah, we're soft lock here. We can't do anything with it. But that's not important. What is important was we're gonna come over here and check out that Omni-Forma blueprint. Now, Omni-Forma is gas because it puts in any polarity on whatever you polarize. So we can actually fix the Necros issue of him having no aura polarity. But let's take a look at this blueprint, shall we? For 100,000 credits, 4 Forma, an argon crystal, which is, yeah, that's alright, and 10 Nightin extract, we get 1. So of course, let's go fucking get some Nightin extract. It's 30 credits for 10. Alright, and now we could go ahead and craft this once I get an argon crystal, which I'm gonna go do now.
One eternity later.
The argon crystal took about 400 hours longer than it should have. And by 400 hours, I mean about, like, 1. Alright, I wanted to come over here to the arbitration stand. A little bit to the left. Because we have some Vitus Essence to spend. Now, unfortunately, I am 2 off, which really bothers me, but I'm gonna pretend like it's all good. Where is it? Rolling Guard. Alright, we're buying that. I don't even need to explain it yet. And then Galvanized Steel is the next one we're gonna buy. Now, Rolling Guard, if I had to, like, based off of what I said earlier, Rolling Guard is an upgrade of my least favorite mod in this game, Rapid Resilience. 11 cost just to be able to not die to an electricity proc on Venus. But Rolling Guard gives you invulnerability as well. Now I'm credit broke, so this hurts. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to craft another Rhino. We do want to get that to rank 8 though, just to give us a buffer. And then Galvanized Steel. It is a combination of Organ Shatter and the other one that I can't remember. I'm pretty tired. True Steel. So we have those both maxed. We'll go ahead and we'll also get this to rank 8 and bite the bullet and be poor. Yeah, this it's just tough to look at. But come down to our Glaive Prime again. We can drop True Steel for this. Now, this does hurt our crit chance pretty bad. But we're gonna get a lot more crit damage, which really helpful. And what I'm gonna do to alleviate this crit chance is put on Blood Rush. Because we're sitting at about 4 times combo at all times, we should be able to guarantee get crits, which is really all I care about. Because if we're critting, we're getting the crit damage value from these 3 mods. And then I also have Gladiator Might just to also give us a little bit more crit chance. So this is looking pretty good though. This is looking pretty strong. And I'll show off the Necros build upgrades when we get our aura Forma, because we're slapping that straight on the boy who so shamelessly has no aura polarity. We can see our brief respite on our Necros Prime only giving us 7 extra mod capacity. That's kind of cringe. We need to increase that. So let's do that by putting our Omniforma. Now, we did reset him back down to rank 0, but that's no problem. We'll get him back up in like 5 seconds. But absolutely necessary.
3 days later.
Yeah, this is how much endo we're about to get from all the Ayatin sculptures we've gotten from the arbitrations. 50 fucking thousand. That's delectable. My dummy is so full of endo. Now we have credits to worry about. Okay, we are here in Cephalon Samaris's domain because I bought access to the Simulacrum key, so I can show off the major improvements to our Glaive Prime. Now, in order to get this, you just need to spend Samaris standing for the key. It's like 50,000, whatever. And we get our own testing ground with resources and an arsenal bench, and it's epic. Now, real quick, I just wanted to show off, for our Warframes, there's a couple of things that we got. The first being Rolling Guard. This is just going to replace Rapid Resilience on everybody, for the most part, because not only is it cleansing us of status effects, it's also giving us just invulnerability for a brief duration, 3 seconds at max, which is just actually invaluable. Like, we can't put a actual tangible value on that. It's too good. Another mod we got was Adaptation. This just gives us damage resistance for each damage type, up to 90%. Really strong, but I opted for, specifically in this scenario, status immunity over damage resistance numbers, because we already have a little bit of damage reduction from Shield of Shadows, and we could get a lot more and get us something like 94% total damage reduction, but I'm a Rolling Guard head, what can I say? But that's all for the Warframes. The real big improvements are on the Glaive. The Glaives. So this was the build we were running before. It was just a bunch of stuff that we had, pretty standard. Killing Blow, because we spam the heavy attack on the Glaive, and then Volatile Quick Return, so that the blast radius on it is a lot bigger. Pressure Point for base damage, True Steel, Organ Shatter for crit, Corrupted Charge to give us a higher damage multiplier from combo, and Volcanic Edge because I slapped it on. There's no real reason for this, other than the fact that infested enemies, which we were fighting most of the time, are weak to heat. So that's nice. But this is what we're running with now. I will briefly explain what's going on here. We have Gladiator Might over Organ Shatter. We will be replacing this with another upgrade to Organ Shatter. Well, it's not really an upgrade, but it's Amalgam Organ Shatter, which we'll do some other time. It is just 5% less. It's 85 crit damage, but you also get a heavy attack wind-up speed, and it's real nice. Galvanized Reflex is giving us heavy attack efficiency, which is really good, considering that now we're going up to somewhere in the 70s on initial combo, so getting that back faster is very handy. Blood Rush, because we have a high combo multiplier, so we're getting a lot of crit from that. We also have Galvanized Steel, which is making up for our crit damage loss from Gladiator Might from Organ Shatter. We get our 4 kills. We're up to 100 crit damage, about. And then Galvanized Elementalist is going to make us do more status damage. And I think I explained it briefly in one of the other clips that we're using Elementalist here, even though we don't have the normal version of Elementalist. That one is we're going to replace on the Glaive Prime build specifically, just because heavy attack wind-up speed. And it just does more status damage. The status chance secondary effect isn't really that big of a deal on the Glaive Prime, considering we are not going to be using it for influence shenanigans, really. So extra status chance isn't very helpful. But that is the upgrades in terms of mods. Let's show it off based on feel. We're not going to use any outside buffs other than what we have from Rupert Fortnite, which is tenacious. Let's go in here. This is the simulacrum, so we can set up artificial scenarios with enemies that we've scanned. I went ahead and scanned a lot of the Oricon corrupted enemies, just because they're kind of a good benchmark. But let's summon in 20 corrupted gunners in that level 80. And let's throw our glaive. Let's see. Hiya! Now the real... most of the damage comes from the status effect. The slash status, mainly. We can get some heat procs on there, but we're not really banking on them. It's, it's pretty solid. I mean, these are level 80 enemies, and they are really tanky, but we're killing them with slash damage that ignores armor. So, not really that impressive of a feat. But, let's test out our new build and see just how far we've come. And, we might see a bit of, or less damage, because we're banking off of reflex, but we'll see. Okay, so it did a lot less damage on the first hit, but now we have our Galvanized mods up. Yep. Yeah. It's nuts. I did also sink an extra 2 Forma into this thing because we're going to be using it for the foreseeable future until we get to Whispers in the Wall. And I think it's worth it. We have one more upgrade we can get. Replacing Gladiator Might, well, obviously leveling these mods up, maybe getting a Prime Pressure Point leveled up, but this is it. This is the build. But what about our Zorus? Can't forget about this thing. Very similar. The only thing I will say is that we are rocking more electricity on the Zorus, because this is going to be our influence battery once we get to that point. Much of the mods are the same. So everything that applied to the glaive applies here, other than the fact that we're going for electricity. Let's throw this off too. Now it's struggling a bit harder on these enemies because they're heavily armored and we're not directly hitting their health, but now we've got, yeah, it kills on the initial throw. We've got our Galvanized mods up. And anything that doesn't die to the initial detonation is just going to die to the status effects. Yep. It's so nice. And keep in mind, we haven't even been damage buffing. Like, if we wanted to, we could come over here, armor strip, roar. I mean, even without the armor strip, it's just ridiculous. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. In terms of how much we did this week, it really wasn't much. We just sat around doing arbitration defenses. I did end up doing a survival, by the way, but it went horribly because there aren't any enemies in normal path missions. And I was just running out of oxygen. But we didn't do much. We just did the defenses, but the rewards from those was just astronomical. I mean, we've got endo for days. We're broke on credits again. But our gear has just been extremely powered up. And that's very important. And next week, we're going to be doing the War Within, so we can unlock the power of our operator, so he's not just a stinky little loser who sits there and watches us do cool stuff. We actually use them, and we can learn about the tech that would have saved me from getting rolling guide. The panic button. See you then.
Excellent choice.